of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilmember Irby? Here. Councilmember Page?
Here.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Present.
Councilmember Dolan?
Here.
Councilmember Tracus? Councilmember Harder?
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
I move for approval of the journal of the meeting of May 29th, 2018.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Journal's approved. We have no bid openings tonight, so we'll move to communications.
Mr. Chair, there are no tax compromises or zoning matters this evening, so we'll move to road and bridge matters. Under road and bridge matters, item number 1, 3rd District.
Receive, file, and the streets be accepted for maintenance as requested.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Moving on to other communications, Mr. Chair, item number 1, all districts.
Receive and file. And that will be the order.
Item number 2, 2nd District.
Receive, file, and agreement be approved as recommended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 3, 2nd District.
Hold on the order of business. A motion for item number 4, and that will be the order.
Item number 5, 6th District.
Receive and file.
So ordered.
Item number 6, 6th District.
Receive and file.
So ordered.
Item number 7, 6th District.
Receive, file, and refer to the Department of Transportation and Public Works and Department of Planning and the County Counselor.
So ordered.
Item number 8, 1st District.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 9, 7th District.
Please hold.
So ordered.
Item number 10, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th Districts.
Receive and file.
So ordered.
Item number 11, 5th District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 12.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation to accept the grant, and that will be the order.
Item number 13, all districts.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order. Same motion for item number 14, and that will be the order as well.
Item number 15, 1st, 4th, 6th, and 7th Districts.
Receive, file, contract in the amount not to exceed $4,911,346.20 be approved and awarded to J.M. Marshutz Construction Company, the lowest responsive bidder, as recommended, and authorization for revision to the existing traffic control devices be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 16, 7th District.
Receive, file, and the County Counselor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Moving on to add-ons, Mr. Chair. Item number 1, 3rd District.
Receive, file, and the County Counselor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
Second.
So ordered.
Item number 2, 2nd District.
Receive, file, and county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order. Report of the county executive.
Nothing further this evening.
Good. Let's see. Were you able to meet with the governor today? I saw that in the news that you had a meeting scheduled.
Yes.
Could you give us a brief report on what you discussed with the governor? I mean, we all recognize that our relationship with the new governor is important to St. Louis County.
Sure. I'll tell you what. Let me put together something, and I'll send you a written report.
Okay. Report on special committees. There are none. Public forum.
We have 4 speakers this evening, Mr. Chair.
When your name is called, please approach the podium and give your name and address for the record. And please try to keep your comments to 3 minutes.
First speaker this evening is Ian Roble.
Chairman, members of the council, I'm voicing my opposition to the Powerplex complex in Hazelwood. I think it is a grotesque use of public funds to privately, for the development group to privately fund this project. They have plenty of money to fund it by themselves.
Mr.
They
Chair, I'm
should
sorry,
not.
please the speaker not to, you're not gonna be able to hear your marks on the recording if you pound on the.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't believe that the county should help publicly fund this project because it is a grotesque use of public funds. They could be reused elsewhere for public infrastructure projects such as hospitals, roads and bridges. So I am just imploring this council to vote against any legislation that would allocate money to these private developers. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I apologize, Mr. Chair, the speaker was tapping the podium, not.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Lou Kitson.
Good evening, Council Speaker, Council members. My name is Officer Kitson. I work at the 1st Precinct, St. Louis County. I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of our precinct under Captain Guy Means. I want to address the issue of possibly the Council's support on getting a new precinct for us. Just a few things to lighten why I'm asking for that. This precinct that I'm talking about is 27, 28 years old right now. It houses about 120 officers, including myself, that works there. If we begin from the outside in, there's barely any parking for us. We have 3 visitor slots. That's important because on a weekly basis, we get between 85 to 100 people visiting our station. We don't have anywhere for them to park. Once they come into the station, the lobby is so small, there is one small bench, and it's also not temperature regulated. So in the winter it's cold, in the summer it is hot, and that's important because we have people that come in there to do not only custody exchange where little kids are involved, but it's everything else too. It's from people reporting 1050s, vehicle accidents, anything criminally involved. They come in there, want to discuss it, and we can't really accommodate people coming in there. Being a mom myself, a bathroom always becomes a big issue really quickly. And in this case, we have no public restroom for people to use. They have to come inside the station, which brings me to another point. I don't know how else to put it, but to say that some of the things are literally falling apart. There's always, it seems to be a kind of a sewage type of an issue that we cannot use our own bathrooms. There's always an issue with the air conditioning that breaks down, and it is a constantly fix what's breaking. If we look further, the size of the place, we try to reach out to the community, and the community needs to come to us. And this spreads far from our NCAA meetings to our neighborhood watch meetings. People want to come to us and have a meeting there, and 9 times out of 10, we have to find a venue to facilitate this. Even our own town hall meeting, we have to use the Blackjack Fire Department, or there's a school on Partridge Run that we have to use because our precinct's not big enough. I don't want to take too much of your time. There's a lot more that I can add, but I'm hoping that the council will hear our plea in asking for consideration for a new precinct. If any time there's a time to reach that gap between the community and us, we believe that this could be it, so that people can come to us and feel safe and helped, but we can also reach out to them and bring them over to us instead of us continuously going to them or finding a venue for us all to meet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Nicole Norberg.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the council. I'm Officer Norberg, and I'm here on behalf of the Afton Southwest Precinct and the community we serve to ensure that you are aware of the impact that a new police precinct would have on all of us. We strive for continued excellence in our abilities to protect and serve each day, and the precinct building at 9928 Gravelway has become an ever-worsening hindrance in that mission. Our precinct facility is expected to be utilized by over 70 officers, their supervisors, and detectives from the Division of Criminal Investigation. At just barely 3,000 square feet in workspace, there is not enough adequate space for any of the personnel to perform those duties without hardship. Before you ever step foot inside, you'll be hard-pressed to find anywhere to park. With only 12 patrol cars and 19 unmarked parking spaces, when 2 shifts are present at shift change, there is not enough room for all of us at once. Citizens who have the misfortune of needing police assistance at that time will generally park on side streets or in the parking lots of neighboring businesses and walk. During critical incidents with police activations, our precinct aide calls on those same businesses to arrange for parking for the 80 cars that will all be here at the same time when the officers arrive to make relief. We are so grateful that they have never turned us away. Once our citizens find a place for the car, they are greeted by a lobby without climate control, with glass windows on 2 sides in a space with no coverage by any of our 3 35-year-old HVAC units. The temperatures in the lobby are generally either extremely warm or extremely cold. We try to help them with space heaters or fans, however, the wiring of the building cannot support either without blowing a fuse for a very long time. Each day, our kitchen area, which has been repurposed as the only space big enough for a conference table, is the only location large enough for a standing room only pre-shift roll call activity. If it's been raining, we must take care to be on the lookout for the buckets that get placed around the precinct to catch the water from our various roof leaks. I could go on for quite some time with the issues we have each day in our facility. There's simply nothing about our building that is satisfactory. I stand before you with a laundry list of problems and one very clear solution. Approve Bill 99 and allow us to resume our progress in getting a new facility completed as soon as possible. This project will bring such a positive impact on us and our community, and we simply don't have any more time to delay. Thank you very much for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Final speaker this evening is Kevin Berry.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Berry. I live in Afton on Hege Road, 6500 Hege Road. And I'm here to talk about the rezoning of the Tower T from residential to from sports commercial to residential. I spoke a few weeks ago, right exactly before Mr. Lotz, Mr. Steve Lotz, the president owner of Tower T, and I was pretty stunned to hear him what he had to say. It seemed to me like a sudden change of heart about his feelings for running Tower T, because he told me he'd like to stay there about 5 more years. Instead, all of a sudden, he seemed to think that the houses were a better idea than the sports area, and that McBride and Sons were like the second coming of Jesus. It almost sounded like. I just moved here from San Diego last July, and I decided, since all this started going on, to study Afton area for just as a community, for green spaces and for things for family, especially children, to do. And I printed out a map. I looked at all the green spaces, the parks, ball fields, anything I could find that was community helpful. And I found out about 80% is what I see, and maybe you guys could look at it sometime, are cemeteries. So it's a great place to go and die and be buried, I guess. There's about 3 parks, 2 small ones, 1 medium. They're kind of on the edge of the what's called the Afton area. It's unincorporated, so it's 63123 area. And there are about the same amount, as many gun shops as there are parks, which is kind of sad, to me anyway. So when you look at this map of Afton, the Tower T sticks out hugely as a green space, a place where children can go and children can have fun and families can go. I was in the Army during Vietnam, and I always remember that song by Cat Stevens, "Where Will the Children Play?" That really stuck with me ever since. So I'd like to ask you to think about that and keep this area zoned as sports commercial just for the good of the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
No more speakers, Mr. Chair.
This concludes our public forum. Please proceed with the introduction of bills.
Bill number 123, introduced by Councilmember Harder, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with TGB Inc. for electrical upgrades for a storage building at Spirit of St. Louis Airport. Bill number 124, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with LexisNexis Vital Check Network Inc. for provision of records acquisition services for customers of Vital Records. Bill number 125, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with Consilience Group LLC for strategic planning consultation for the Children's Service Fund. Bill number 126, introduced by Councilmember Harder for Councilmember Tracus, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to grant an easement and temporary slope construction license to Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District MSD for the installation and maintenance of stormwater facilities on a part of Suisun County Park. Bill number 127, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with Arment Enterprises LLC for janitorial services at police department facilities. Bill number 128, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance amending Title V, Chapter 502, St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974 as amended, levying collection of taxes by repealing and reenacting Section 502.410, continuing an emergency telephone tax. Bill number 129, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray, an ordinance amending the St. Louis County zoning ordinance and the official zoning district maps by changing the boundaries of the CA Plan Commercial District and the C2 Shopping District as provided herein, PC 07-18 BRG NLD Development LLC Burger King. Mr. Chair, that is all the bills.
Perfection of bills.
Bill number 99, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
One second. $99, please hold.
Bill number 99 will be held. I will add that Councilman Tracus did tell me he wanted to move this bill next week. There's just one piece of information he's looking for. And Bill 99 is held.
Bill number 105, introduced by Councilmember Page. Mr. Chair, we have a substitute bill.
Please read the substitute.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 105, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept grants and program income totaling $10,904,066 from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, authorizing the county executive to execute necessary documents in support of said programs, authorizing the Director of Planning to execute supplemental cooperation agreements, home buyer regulatory agreements, and home improvement contracts for the rehabilitation of private properties, and authorizing the Director of Human Services to execute necessary federal emergency solution grant agreements.
So before I move for adoption, I'll explain to the council the difference. This bill is different from the original bill in that it only allows us to accept the grant, and we were unable to identify the funds that this would be appropriated into. So we'll hold on those appropriations until those funds are identified, and we'll come back and discuss that piece. So this bill is to accept the grants and execute the agreements. And with that, I move for adoption of substitute number 1 for bill number 105.
Second.
All in favor of substitute 1 for bill number 105?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 105 is adopted. I'd like to move for perfection of substitute bill number 1 for bill number 105.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 105 is perfected.
Bill number 112, introduced by Councilmember Page. Mr. Chair, we have a substitute bill.
Please read the substitute.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 112, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance amending ordinance number 26,769 by repealing and reenacting Section 1 pertaining to a grant from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services for support of the violent death and enhanced opioid surveillance program.
This substitute has the same changes as I mentioned before. I move for adoption of substitute bill number 1 for bill number 112.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 112 is adopted. I move to perfect substitute bill number 1 for bill number 112.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 112 is perfected.
Bill number 113, introduced by Councilmember Page. Mr. Chair, we have a substitute bill.
Please read the substitute.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 113, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a grant up to $920,127 from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, and authorizing the county executive to execute necessary contracts.
I move to adopt substitute bill number 1 for bill number 113.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 113 is adopted. I move to perfect substitute bill number 1 for bill number 113.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 113 is perfected.
Bill number 114, introduced by Councilmember Page. Mr. Chair, we have a substitute bill.
Please read the substitute.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 114, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a grant of up to $70,000 from the Office of National Drug Control Policy and authorizing the county executive to execute necessary documents.
I move for adoption of substitute bill number 1 for bill number 114.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 114 is adopted. I move for perfection of substitute bill number 1 for bill number 114.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 114 is perfected.
Bill number 115, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
I move to perfect Bill number 115.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 115 is perfected.
Bill number 116, introduced by Councilmembers Tracus, Wassinger, and Page.
Please hold.
Bill number 116 is held.
Bill number 117, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
Please hold.
Bill number 117 is held.
Bill number 118, introduced by Councilmembers Page and Harder.
Move to perfect bill number 118.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 118 is perfected.
Bill number 119, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
Move to perfect bill number 119.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 119 is perfected.
Bill number 120, introduced by Councilmember Page. Mr. Chair, we have a substitute bill.
Please read the substitute.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 120, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance amending ordinance number 26,160 by repealing and reenacting Section 2 pertaining to a contract with the Missouri Department of Social Services State Technical Assistance Team for the provision of child autopsies and related services by the St. Louis County Medical Examiner.
Move for adoption of substitute bill number 1 for bill number 120.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 120 is adopted. I move for perfection of substitute bill number 1 for bill number 120.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 120 is perfected.
Bill number 121, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect bill number 121.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 121 is perfected.
Bill number 122, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray.
I move to perfect Bill number 122.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 122 is perfected. Final passage.
Bill number 305, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Please hold.
Bill number 305 is held.
Bill number 353, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to hold Bill 353, and 353 will be held.
Bill number 100, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of Bill number 100.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Present. Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus? Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 100, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 100 is finally passed.
Bill number 106, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
Please hold Bill number 106.
106 will be held.
Bill number 107, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
Please hold Bill number 107.
107 will be held.
Bill number 108, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of Bill number 108.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye. Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus? Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Mr. Chair, on Bill number 108, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 108 is finally passed.
Bill number 109, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
Please hold Bill number 109.
Bill number 109 is held.
Bill number 110, introduced by Councilmember Page for Councilmember Walton Gray.
I move for final passage of bill number 110.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus? Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 110, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 110 is finally passed.
Bill number 111, introduced by Councilmember Wassinger.
Please hold Bill 111.
Bill 111 is held.
Moving on to resolutions, Mr. Chair, we have one this evening.
It's my resolution. Right.
Excuse me. Yeah, resolution number 1, introduced by Councilmembers Page, Erby, Harder for Wassinger, Walton Gray, Dolan, Harder for Tracus, and Harder.
Do you read the resolution?
Yes, sir. Whereas Lorraine Elizabeth Horan Miller came into the world on April 4th, 1945, and left it on a lovely spring morning on June 3rd, 2018, surrounded by her loving family. And whereas Lorraine was a fiercely active lifelong Democrat in St. Louis, serving as committeewoman of Queenie Township from 1984 to 2013, and also a stint as Central Committee Chair on the State Democratic Committee and Executive Committee from 1984 to 2013, as second Congressional District Chair for many years, as Finance Director for Joan Kelly Horn's congressional campaigns, as a volunteer on countless other campaigns, and was also a frequent traveler to Iowa where she trained volunteers and led caucuses for Dick Gephardt. And whereas Lorraine's legacy will continue for years to come, in no small part due to her efforts to establish Thomas Jefferson Days and to launch Project 90s, a precursor to the statewide voter activation network. And whereas Lorraine was a dedicated and valued employee of the St. Louis County Council Department from 1998 until her retirement just over a month ago, first serving in the auditor's office and then for over 15 years as the conscientious and dedicated legislative assistant for the 2nd Council District. And whereas Lorraine further served her community as a director of the West County EMS and Fire Protection District. And whereas above all else, Lorraine Miller was a devoted wife to her late husband Fran, an exceptionally loving and proud mother to her 5 children Butch, Aaron, Lexi, Patrick, and Sharice, and a doting and devoted grandmother to Claire, Elise, Miles, Patrick, Avery, and Reese. Now therefore be it resolved by the County Council of St. Louis County, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the County Council extends their deepest sympathies to the family of Lorraine Miller as well as to her countless friends and colleagues. Section 2, the Administrative Director shall send a certified copy of this resolution to Lorraine's family as a token of the Council's admiration for a life well lived and their immense gratitude for her exemplary service to the people of St. Louis County.
Thank you. I move for adoption of resolution number 1.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus? Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on resolution number 1, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Resolution number 1 is adopted.
Moving on to unfinished business, Mr. Chair, item number 1, 3rd District.
Please hold on the order of business.
So ordered.
Item number 2, 4th District.
Please hold.
So ordered.
Item number 3, 1st District.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 4, 1st District.
Receive, file, and the change of owner be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 5, 6th District.
Receive and file.
So ordered.
Item number 6, 1st District.
On items number 6 through 8, I'm going to hold those and ask that we resubmit these, and if we could get this written to comply with the county minority participation, Peter, that we voted unanimously for.
I'll look to see if these are maybe federal funded projects, in which case federal laws would override. But I will alert you through as to what those are.
Right, we like for them to conform with the bill that we have, unless there is something that would conflict with federal guidelines.
Okay.
Item number 9, second and sixth districts.
So ordered.
I'm sorry, what was the motion, Mr. Chair?
I was agreeing with.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
With her motion. So, item number 9 through 14, same motion, and that will be the order.
Item number 15.
Hold on the other order of business, and that will be the order.
Item number 16.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that legislation to be for introduction tonight, which has already happened, and that will be the order.
Item number 17.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. This legislation should also include language to require a full-time ADA coordinator and outline which positions are proposed to be eliminated. And that will be the order.
Item number 18, fourth district.
Receive, file, and the change orders be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 19, fifth district.
Receive, file, and the appointment be approved as requested.
Second.
I did speak with County Assessor Jake Zimmerman, and he's indicated that only 2 of the 3 positions on the Board of Equalization are appointed at this point, and they are anticipating a large volume of appeals. And I think we all agree that we should fill this. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 20, first district.
Please hold on order of business.
So ordered.
Moving on to new business, Mr. Chair, we have 3 prepared orders this evening.
I move for adoption 1 and 2.
It's the third order.
I have 3 in my packet.
I do have. Okay. I move for adoption of orders number 1 and 2.
Second. All in favor of adoption of orders 1 and 2, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Looks like it's okay. Motion carries. This looks like it's all right. That wasn't in my packet. Peter, can you explain order number 3?
It's just to adopt a previously passed ordinance and then also to establish the subdivision neighborhood improvement district. That's all I can say. That's all I can give you at this time. The on May 15, County Council was directed to prepare this legislation.
Okay. All right, I just didn't see it in my packet.
And Mr. Chair, there will be a public hearing on this matter as required by state statute.
Before or after we pass the order?
After.
After you pass the order. That's part of the order,
Okay,
ordering the public hearing
sounds good.
and the public notice to the property owners.
Thank you.
I move for adoption of order number 3.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Order number 3 is adopted. Any comments, council members?
Motion to adjourn.
I do.
Oh, never mind.
Not yet.
Too soon.
I'm not sure if any of the employees are here regarding the raises, but I got a call asking about the status. Peter, can you tell us
About the status of,
the raises?
I don't know anything of it other than what's been passed. And
It's been passed, so it should be fine, right?
Well, it's not necessarily fine, it's just been passed, but I'm not part of the appropriations process after that. So,
Motion to adjourn, again.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, we're adjourned.
yeah, it's not a game.